Today we're going to do some simple Jinu demon patterns face paint for Halloween costume Saja Boys, and I'm using Snazaroo water-based face paint. Sponge, I just bought it from Dollar Tree. I cut up a sponge from Dollar Tree, and this is water activated, so you just put a tiny little bit of water and rub it into the pan and then go ahead and apply it. You want it to be very creamy when you're applying it to the skin so that it goes on with a very solid color. If you add too much water, it's going to be very runny and it's going to spread a little bit easier, but the color is going to be a lot thinner. And also it doesn't show that well on the mannequin, so I'm going to show you what it looks like on my arm. So yeah, this is the creamy consistency, and you can see I have like a medium dark skin tone and it goes on pretty well. This is the lilac color. And then this face paint set, I'm using the darker purple to do the actual demon patterns on the face. So again, just add a little bit of water and mix it in to get a creamy consistency on a brush, and then go ahead and apply it. Starting off for Jinu, the main one you want to do is across the nose. That's like the classic Jinu look that you want to achieve. And I started out with a thicker brush, and then you can like kind of twist the brush to get thinner and thicker strokes. And so here, like right on the nose, I started out with the side of the brush, and then I moved to like rotated it to the flat part of the brush to get that thicker line. And then you can always go back a little bit and kind of make sure that it's straight, because if your hand is kind of shaky, you know, it might get a little bit crooked, but you can always wipe it off if you feel like it didn't go on at all, and just start over again. And then down here, kind of down underneath the cheekbone, you want to just kind of make a little V, upside down V shape, and then have it go all the way back to the back of the head. And then if you're going to show some forehead, it's not as critical because you might be wearing a Saja Boys hat, or you might have hair in front of it. So you don't actually have to do the forehead if you don't want to, but you can just do like one mark kind of going down. And then you want to have some on the chin, and then the marks, you know, they're coming out from the body, so you want it to move down into the neck, and then just kind of make a small zigzag. And then on the other side of the face, again, you want to go all the way kind of back to where the ear is, and then move the line down towards the nose, and then kind of do a zigzag back towards the ear. And then again, just have a line go straight down into the jaw, and then you can extend it down into the neckline if you want to. Okay, and then if it goes on too thin, just go back, wait a little bit till it dries, and then go back for a second layer, because the water activated paint, you can layer it and you can put additional colors on top of it. So this is just the dark purple, but you'll see a little bit later I'm going to try a different reddish color too. And then for the right side, yeah, I just did another mark on the neck, and that one's kind of like a Y shape on the neck. Okay, and then, sorry, I didn't show the makeup palette, but I picked up the same purple that I used on the mannequin. So this is what it looks like on my arm, on your actual human skin, because again, the mannequin is made out of silicone, so it's not super accurate to what it will look like on a kid's face. And then here I went back in with kind of like a maroon reddish color, and I didn't go over the purple so much. I kind of just did it on the side, so kind of like outline one side of your marks, and it shows up really nicely against like that light purple base color that we had. So here is that reddish maroon color that I'm going to do, and I'm just going to go over one side of the mark that I already did to give it a little bit more definition, and just use either like a very small detailed brush, or for this brush that I'm using, the flat one, I'm just using kind of holding it, so I'm just getting the skinny side of it. I'm not like using the big flat side of the brush, so that I can get a little more definition on these marks. And I will say though, this makeup, because it has a lot more red in it, it might stain your skin a little bit, so just be aware of that when you're taking it off. You can use just regular makeup remover to get most of it off, but you might have to wash your skin a few times if you have any like red ghosting left over after the night's finished, because the red is the one that really has some leftovers to it. Some of the other colors don't really stain the skin as much, but red like almost always stains the skin. Okay, and then here, this is the simplified version, and that picture that I'm using, it's on Pinterest. I'll leave the link down in the description below if you want to get that into your Pinterest board, and you can add more if you want to. This was just like the bare minimum that you should do if you want to have some demon marks, but feel free to just keep going and add more, and I'll show you another picture that I had on my iPad of Jinu from the movie. Now, it's not like super clear on these pictures where the actual marks are, so on his nose he's definitely got like 2 lines that kind of go across his nose, and then on that side of his face there's a lot of demon marks that are coming out from the side of his face, like towards the ear, so you can fill in that space if you want to. And then there's some more marks that come down from his chin down onto his neck, so you could do that. And then on the other side of the face there's some marks that kind of go, vertically across the face. I think the other side was more horizontal lines that went across his face. And yeah, just try to vary the thickness of the lines if you want to make it more accurate to the movie. There's some thin lines and some thick lines, so definitely rotate your brush or change it out for a smaller, more detailed brush if you want to. And again, like usually Jinu's wearing the hat, or he's got hair over covering his forehead, so you don't really see what's on the top of his head. But if you're wanting to show more of your face, feel free to put more on the forehead. And then the chin, yeah, he definitely has like several lines going vertically from his mouth down to his neck. And that's pretty much it to it. So again, if you want these, I linked them all below, but I use the water activated face paint for this.